That night, I thought I would finally get some rest. But the moment I slipped beneath the sheets, something else slipped in too. At first it was just a brush, a cold fingertip along my thigh, so light I almost convinced myself I imagined it. Then the warmth came, a breath at my neck, steady, hungry, as if it had been waiting for me to fall asleep. My body froze, torn between fear and the strange heat rising inside me. And when my shirt lifted on its own, inch by inch, I realized I wasn't dreaming. I was being touched, claimed, by something I could not see. I crawled into bed later than usual that night, exhausted from a long day. The apartment was quiet, the kind of silence that felt too perfect, almost staged. I pulled the blanket over me, letting the fabric drape lazily across my hips, one leg bare against the cool air. My t-shirt rode up slightly as I shifted, but I was too tired to care. My body melted into the mattress, my breathing steady, my mind drifting towards sleep. That's when it happened. At first, it was nothing more than a shift, the faintest dip in the mattress at my side. I told myself it was just my imagination, that I was moving too much, but then I felt it, the slow slide of pressure against my leg, as though fingers had brushed along my skin. The touch was so deliberate, so controlled, that my heart stuttered before racing into a frantic rhythm. I froze, my eyes clamped shut. Fear held me still, but my body betrayed me. My breath grew shallow, my skin prickled, and heat curled low in my stomach. Whatever it was, it didn't rush. The presence lingered, waiting, savoring. The touch moved higher, grazing the curve of my thigh. My blanket shifted, tugged down as if invisible hands wanted better access. I gripped the sheets tightly, torn between yanking them back up or simply letting it happen. My chest rose and fell unevenly, and I could almost hear a second rhythm of breathing beside me, slow, steady, and not mine. I thought about opening my eyes, but terror rooted me in place. Instead, I listened. The faint sound of fabric shifting, the whisper of air moving, and then warmth. A breath against my ear so close it made my scalp tighten. My lips parted instinctively, even though no words came out. The hem of my shirt lifted higher, exposing more of my stomach to the cool air. I gasped softly, but the moment I did, the fingers returned, gliding across my skin, light but firm enough to remind me this was no dream. I wanted to scream. Instead, I arched toward it. That's when I realized the truth. Whatever was in my room wasn't trying to hurt me. It wanted me. The realization terrified me even more. The weight on the mattress grew heavier, as if the unseen presence had fully settled beside me. I didn't dare move, but every nerve in my body was alive, waiting, anticipating. Then it happened. Fingers, slow and deliberate, tracing the outline of my hip. The touch wasn't rough, it was careful, intentional, like it was memorizing me. My breath hitched, the sound embarrassingly loud in the silence. For a moment, I thought maybe I had imagined it, that it was my exhausted brain playing tricks. But then the sensation came again, stronger this time, a glide along the curve of my waist, sending a shiver that spread all the way up my spine. The room felt charged, like the air itself pulsed with electricity. I could smell it now, earthy, faintly sweet, almost intoxicating. I turned my face toward the pillow, trying to hide from it, but the presence followed. Warm breath fanned across the back of my neck, so close I could feel the way it stirred my hair. My body betrayed me again. Instead of pulling away, I pressed deeper into the mattress, my thighs tightening involuntarily. A low sound, not quite a word, not quite a growl, reverberated near my ear. It was satisfaction, possession, a reminder that I was no longer alone. The touch returned, featherlight at first, before sliding up beneath the edge of my shirt. My skin burned where it lingered. I wanted to scream, to fight, but something stronger held me still, not force, but the magnetic pull of whatever this was. My blanket shifted again, sliding further down until it pooled at my waist. The air kissed my bare leg, making me shudder. And then I felt it, the undeniable press of weight near my thighs, the indentation of knees digging into the mattress. My heart hammered, but I couldn't look. I didn't need to. I knew it was there, leaning over me, watching, choosing what to do next. Fingers combed through my hair, slow and deliberate, separating strands as if savoring the texture. Then came the inhale, deep, long, a sound of satisfaction that made my chest tighten and my body heat in ways I couldn't explain. The smell was overwhelming now, thick in the air, sinking into me. The touch moved again, sliding along my stomach, pausing just below my ribs. My breaths came short, fast, uneven. I whispered, barely audible, "Please," not even sure if I wanted it to stop or continue. The mattress shifted lower, closer. Warmth hovered above me, lips grazing the shell of my ear without ever pressing fully. My skin burned under the anticipation. My fear was still there, sharp and real, but tangled with something darker, something I couldn't resist. And in that moment, I knew this presence wasn't going to leave me untouched. The silence of the room shattered with the sound of my own breathing. It was shallow, uneven, each inhale trembling like it might be my last. The mattress dipped again, harder this time, as though the presence had fully claimed its place beside me. My body tightened, waiting, helpless against the invisible weight that pressed closer. Then came the touch, firmer now, tracing from my stomach down toward my hip. It wasn't hurried, it was deliberate, almost savoring, like each inch of skin was being studied. My lips parted in a shaky gasp as the fabric of my shirt lifted, bearing more of me to the cold night air. My heart pounded against my ribs so violently I thought it might break free. The warmth of breath returned, hovering over my chest. I could feel it lingering there, teasing me, refusing to give in to the contact I both dreaded and craved. My body betrayed me again, arching toward it, as if pulled by something primal, something stronger than fear. A low sound followed, a hum, a vibration that carried satisfaction, like it knew exactly what it was doing to me. My legs tensed, my hands gripped the sheet so tightly my knuckles ached. I wanted to speak, to scream, but only one word escaped my lips, fragile and desperate. Stop. Yet even as I said it, I knew I didn't mean it. The mattress shifted lower, and suddenly I felt the unmistakable press of knees digging into the bed near my hips. My body was positioned, moved without force but with intent. I trembled, caught between terror and a dangerous heat that burned beneath my skin. And then, the voice, clearer than before, right against my ear. A single word, low and certain, heavy with possession. Mine. The moment it sank into me, everything vanished. The warmth, the touch, the pressure, gone in an instant, leaving me gasping in the silence. My leg dropped heavily back onto the bed, my chest rising and falling as though I'd just run for miles. But the room wasn't empty. At the foot of the bed, in the dim glow of the streetlight through the curtains, I saw it. Indentations pressed deep into the blanket, knees, still there, still watching. My heart stopped. I blinked, and they were gone. The sheets smoothed themselves out, leaving no trace except the tremor in my body. I lay there for hours, too afraid to close my eyes. The scent still lingered in the air, earthy and intoxicating, proof that I hadn't dreamed it. Even now I can feel it. The memory of hands on my skin, the whisper in my ear. I don't know if it will come back tonight, but I know it isn't finished, because once something like this finds you, it never really lets you go. Have you ever felt a touch in the dark that you couldn't explain? Share your story in the comments below. Subscribe to Paranormal Sleep for more chilling midnight encounters, because the next story might be yours.